Well, sometimes you're in for treats here, and sometimes you're in for treats here. And right now, you're definitely in for a treat with our guest today, a true cheesehead, which is dedicated with I don't know, with integrity, I suppose so, but foolishly, maybe. And here he is in a small example. This is the Swarm Unplugged podcast, where we get to know the Be Social community and encourage others to join us. With hundreds in the community, we want to get to know all of you better. From the newbie to the expert to the project partners, we will be learning who they are and how they can best benefit from Be Social. I'm Christopher Knight, so let's get started. And a great big welcome to everyone who has joined us live and those who will join us later on the replay. We are in today, as we always do, to bring you excellent people from the community. And we always like to also bring you the people who were there early on and have some inside knowledge. So we're going to try to dig out some of that inside knowledge from our guest today. But before we even announce him, I'd like to, I say welcome, but I say that hesitantly. I'd like to introduce our intrepid co-host, Tony K. Well, I don't have any idea what this is. Okay. Tony?
Hello, Christopher. How are you?
Are you Irish now or what?
Top of the morning to you.
Okay. Scottish? Irish?
It's Irish. Don't insult the Irish.
Well, do you have any good Irish jokes?
As a matter of fact, I do. Now, let me tell you something, Christopher. I've got something very interesting for you today. I've come up with an invention, and I want to share it with you. Okay. Can I share it with you? All right.
Oh, well, I don't know. Is it G-rated or R-rated?
Well, what it's going to do is going to save a lot of marriages. And it's going to keep people their jobs. So it's guaranteed, 100% guaranteed, to save marriages and keep people employed.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Do you want to know what it is?
This is an invention of yours, is that right?
It is. And It's absolutely brilliant. It's a brilliant thing. Let me tell you. Okay.
Of course, if
so
it's from you, go ahead, yeah.
You can't smell it, Christopher, but I'm wearing it right now. Okay.
Oh my God.
And what it is cologne.
Oh.
No, put it on your face. Right off. It's cologne.
Yeah.
All right, Jimmy. Now listen. Can I call you Jimmy?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Go right ahead.
Okay. Yeah. All right, Jimmy. Listen. So, what you do is you get this cologne and you put it on yourself. And you wear it every day to the office, all the time. And people get used to that all the time. Now, listen very carefully. Okay, so what you got to do with the cologne is wear it in the evening when you come home. So your girlfriend, everybody gets to smell it. Okay. Now, The essence is whiskey and beer. So every time you wear it, people get used to the smell. And so at lunchtime, if you want to have a little tote of whiskey or beer, you already smell like it. And everybody knows that's your cologne. And in a little pinch, Christopher, Jimmy, if you run out of money, you can just take a little sip of it. So your cologne gives you a guarantee not to get busted. What do you think?
Well, it's brilliant because I think there are many men that would appreciate having that kind of cover in order to avoid their significant other getting angry.
I want to share something with you. This is just between you and me, right? We can keep this just between us.
But yeah, I want to share in some of the profits on this too.
Okay. I'm going to allow you in to be at the ground level. You can be my very first investor.
Okay. Right.
It's
I'm
a
in.
deal.
Very good.
Now,
And
I hear there's somebody else on the call that also is an investor.
oh,
I'd like to hear from him.
I'm jealous now.
Yeah,
Who
he's going to be
who
number two, but it's all right.
who are you talking about now?
Well, I'm not sure, but I think he's out on the East Coast.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, if he's going to be an investor, let's bring him on and let him speak for himself. What do you think?
I like it.
Yeah.
Let's do it, Jimmy. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. Now, and our guest today is Will Newenberg. Hello, Will. Welcome to the podcast today.
Hi, guys. How are you guys doing?
Well, I thought I was doing well until this started, but I guess I'll recover somewhere along the way. But I understand now you're a new investor in this. So,
I am.
yeah. So, do you think this has any merit to it?
Well, it has to because when I first was involved, and it happened probably in August, was the first time I heard about crypto.
Well, wait a minute. Wait, I'm not talking about crypto now. I'm talking about the cologne.
He's talking about my Irish beer and whiskey.
Whiskey cologne. Now, come on, Will. You got to join in.
I'm in.
Whiskey beer cologne. Think about
Absolutely.
Why
not?
It's a brilliant. I mean, come on. You got to see some merit in this.
I could have used it when I was working. But I'm retired now.
Well, before we move into some other areas, I understand you have just recently retired, and you are looking for new horizons. But I want to know what you did in your previous life. Tell us a little bit about that.
Certainly. So when I got out of college, my first job was at a company called Schlegel, and it was a manufacturing company in Rochester, New York. And they were a global company. They had 28 divisions across the world. And I worked there for 39 years. And I eventually, when my last position, I was the supply chain manager. And they decided to close the facility and try and move it to North Carolina, Statesville. And I didn't move with the company, so I said it's time to retire. I'm 60 years old. And my wife, she was still working at the school. And, my plan was for her to retire first, not me. But since we were getting the health care through her, she got to stay on a little longer, and I don't think she was happy about that. But she's retired now, so we're in good shape.
Well,
it's better.
There you go. You put all the pressure on your wife, and you just kind of just dodge out of the way, right? Come on now.
No, it was. I didn't feel good about that, but I feel much better now that she's not working.
I'm sure you do. And with all of that, when you retired, what were your plans in retirement?
So that's the scary thing, because we were too young, both of us, for Social Security. Mm-hmm. So now we're drawing on investments. And so I'm thinking we got to be a little tight, until we can start getting some additional income as we get older. But fortunately, I have a sister and brother-in-law in New Jersey, and they were able to introduce me to the bees community, and that has changed our retirement outcome. Our outlook is so much brighter now.
And who might that have been, Will, that introduced you?
You might know the Cookie Monster, Mark Anthony Cook, and he's married to my sister, Susan.
Aha, okay. And I understand that once in a while you go gambling with them. Is that right?
Well, I try and be the chauffeur because Mark is the professional. Mark knows where all the places to go are in Atlantic City and in Philadelphia. So
I didn't know there was any gambling in Philadelphia.
You would be surprised. Yes, 13 minutes away from Mark's house. He's got it clocked.
Yeah, so that's probably down a few stairs, make a few turns, go through a couple of doors, go underneath another basement. So I know the place.
The guy opens a peephole and says, "Okay, you're all right."
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I got it.
No, that's the steel door. You got to know the password.
Yeah. You got to have the code to get in. Yeah, you were just recently there, about 3-4 weeks ago. Were you not in New Jersey? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I thought Patrick Tuttle was going to meet us, but I guess he couldn't make it.
Yeah. I see a T-shirt behind you, and it's got a number on it and a letter. What does that say? M2.
M2. Yeah.
M2. What do you know about M2?
M2 is a cryptocurrency that we feel is going to help change the world. It's going to change the economics, hopefully, for third world countries, and upgrade the living conditions for people that don't have access to banks, and hopefully they will improve their situation, and that's the whole goal of M2.
So they can get M2 if they've got just a mobile device, which most people across the globe, obviously, most people have access to that. Some people have a device, but they don't even have shoes on their feet, which is, just sometimes the way it is in certain countries, as you obviously are aware. And so what you're saying is with this, with the ability to be able to get online, they can actually create income just for having some kind of an action, that they take an action, and what for that their reward is to be able to get some cryptocurrency. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And then they'll be able to use their mobile device to pay each other peer-to-peer with their phone, and they'll be able to get goods and services.
I was told by a very reliable source that you personally have got, I think the number's in excess of 60, 70 people that you're so excited about, that you've told them and shared with them about what your excitement is, and they've just jumped right in, hook, line, and sinker with you. And I know you like fishing, so I thought I'd throw the hook, line, and sinker in there, thought I'd get that little pun in there while I could, before Chris cut me off. So you're really passionate about it. You brought a lot of people into this space, and my hat's off to you. I'll take my hat off, but I can't because it's stuck. It's part of my outfit today.
I would like to give a shout out to Burt's Lumber in Perry, New York. I think the whole store is watching right now this podcast, because the owner of the store, Bob Burt, has gotten their employees in, because this is going to help build their retirement. So this is his retirement plan for the employees. So this is very exciting.
That is very cool.
I think that I'll play devil's advocate for a moment, if I might. And that is, M2 certainly is positioned to do a great job, but it has other competitors that are vying for the same space out there as far as cryptocurrency is concerned. How do you feel that M2's position is in comparison to the other competitors?
Well, I think the community that we have backing this cryptocurrency is so strong that you don't see that when you look at other cryptocurrencies. We have a Zoom call every night, 8:30 New York time. And the people that are willing to help each other is so amazing that you just don't find that as a group. To be able to pull people together from different countries and to help each other And it's not that people are getting paid to do it. They're volunteers. So it's amazing. And that's why I'm on the phone every night.
So, Will, I can envision you going on walks because, again, another little birdie told me that since you've retired, apparently you spend hours exercising and you go on these very long walks or very short walks, depending on, what your, understanding of, a long walk is. But 2 hours to me is a long walk. And so I can just envision you walking around New York talking to people about M2 and crypto. And I'm surprised. Have you got mugged yet for people to say, M2 cash? I mean, I'm just trying to envision it because you've got so many people. I can see you going into the grocery store and the first thing you're saying, do you take M2 cash or do you want that other thing, what we call currency right now? Or would you want to take a valuable currency? I mean, how do you talk to people about that? What do you do? Do you say, hey, my name's Will, and do you know what M2 is? What do you do? I'm curious.
Well, I'll take the lead from Richie Rohn, and I'll say, have you bought any cryptocurrency today? And if they say no, then I move on and say, all right, adoption hasn't started yet. This is accumulation.
But you've got so many people involved with it. You must say more than that, obviously. So is that your friends, your family, your close people? Okay.
Yes, it's important to talk to the people that are close to you because the opportunity is so huge that you need to tell people about it because you don't want them to miss out. And of course, people are scared of things that they're not educated on, and you just can't be pushy. You just say, here's an opportunity, and if they don't want to think about it, then 6 months down the road, you can touch the subject again.
Sure. Yeah, that's well said. I sometimes have difficulty with some of the people that are in our community because there's a lot of jealousy. Like Grant Shiva, he just commented about my hat because he doesn't have one. Because I'm not sure he'd look as good as I do. So, there's a lot of jealousy going on. And with your connections and all the kind of stuff that you've been involved with in this community and some of the people, and you've mentioned a few of them already, what do you know that you would want to that you can share about some of the stuff that maybe some people don't know about this community or some of the people that are involved with it? Is there something that you can share with us?
Well, the one thing that I've noticed in this community is that everyone is willing to help. And it seems like the Skype channel and also on the Zoom calls, everyone is so willing to help each other that it's 24/7 accessibility if you have a problem, because this is one scary space. Cryptocurrency is so scary. When I first got involved, you worry about being hacked, and the security that is talked about throughout our community, it reminds people all the time. Make sure to save your passwords off your device. Keep it saved 2-3 different places. Put it in your safe deposit box because, you were mentioning how I go for a walk. Well, one of the things that scares me about my walk, when you're walking along the road for 2 hours a day, there's a lot of cars that come close. And I'm thinking, oh my God, if I got killed, I got to make sure people know where my password is so that,
I think you should be more worried about if Mark Cook's behind the steering wheel of one of those vehicles. That's what I always have a GPS on him just in case he's close by, and I'm in Colorado and I'm still scared. So you're a lot closer to him, so you should be a lot scared.
Since you mentioned Mark Anthony Cook, and as we know, you're his brother-in-law. Is that right, Will?
Yes.
Okay. I want to kind of bring you back in history just for a moment. And I do this with some of the other folks who are we got in early in the process, and I want you to experience. Uh, did he set you down at a kitchen table, or were you out to lunch, or how did he actually tell you about this particular project? Because he's in a tremendous amount of different projects, as you well know. But how did he introduce this project to you? Was it over a beer? Or was it at lunch, or was it at your house, or what? Tell us about that.
So actually, it was over the phone because Mark lives in New Jersey, and they're in South Jersey, and I live in Rochester, New York. So we've got a 6-hour ride between us. So he called me in August, and he said that there's a business that he's in, and they're having a little special bonus going on. And that was when you would buy a WPE token and get a PE token free. So immediately I talked to one of my best friends, Elliot Schwartz. I said, Elliot, we got to get in on this. And I got my sons in, we went in. And so one night when it was time for that bonus, Mark showed us on a Zoom or a Skype how to get to do and buy this coin. And of course, at that time, my sister had mentioned to Mark, make sure whatever you do with my brother, that he doesn't lose money because he's not moving in with us.
And that would be crowded because you've got a 22 and a 24-year-old son, and then there's your wife. And I mean, gosh, yeah. I don't know. I think you should call him up and say, hey, Susan, I didn't quite get the return I was hoping for, so get the spare room ready just so you can give Mark a heart attack.
Right.
That's what you should do.
All right. Now carry on. There's more to it than this. Give us more of the story. Well, come on.
Well, we eventually we got involved in the pool parties that came out in November. And in November, that was the first time that I had brought on board a couple friends, and we were very fortunate because the night of the pool party, there were issues with the system-wise, and I had no clue because I was not in the first pool party. So this was all brand new to me, and it was November 30th. And Richie Rohn jumped off the call and personally got myself and my friend Elliot into the pools. And we were so fortunate. We couldn't believe the person that was in charge of everything took his time and broke away from the crowd just to help us. And that just spoke volumes to me for what kind of a community the Be Social was.
Yeah. And that then ended up being that was WPE back in November, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, well, you knew Richie from before, though, didn't you, Will? You already met Richie and were familiar with him?
It had to be 8-10 years ago that I met Richie in Pennsylvania. And he was in another business, and it was similar to Facebook. I think Richie had a program that he was trying to build a project that was the same as Facebook, and he was ahead of Facebook. So unfortunately, his business didn't work out, but he would have blown Facebook away because he had everything that they do now. In fact, he was talking about YouTube before YouTube came out. He was telling us about YouTube. And we're like, what is YouTube? Because Richie, of course, is in the tech industry, and he hears everything before, the general public hears it.
Yeah, he's done stuff. I mean, it's amazing how ahead of the curve that one person can be. Google, I mean, we could mention all these big names and everything, and Richie's probably got his hand in it, or he helped in it, or he was part of it in one fashion or another. It's absolutely amazing. But Chris, I got to ask you something. Did you hear stories about Will and some of his? I think there's like 5 or 6 things that he's really, really passionate about. Did you hear about any of those things?
Well, I was talking to someone the other day. I don't know if it was Mark or somebody else, but he has certain things now he does that he now has time to do, and
What is that?
has always enjoyed. So, but I think there may be some evidence of that. Do you think maybe?
You know, I hear this all the time, and you know me. You know, the proof is in the pudding. So if you've got something, I'd really like to see some proof.
Let's just expose him right now.
Let's do it.
Yeah, there you go. You know, that's not his only weakness, though. So.
It isn't. But did you know that looked like a brand new F-150 Ford pickup truck that he put a pint of milk in? Don't you think that's a little bit of a big truck? I mean, is there any truth to that? Will, do you have a pickup truck, a new one that you get a pint of milk and you put in the truck of that? What do you need such a big truck for?
Milk is very heavy in New York, so you know we have these large containers. So my car couldn't handle it because my golf clubs took up all the space. So now I
play golf. So you play golf too?
Yes, I do.
Interesting. Wow.
Now, wait, did you play golf before you retired? What's the deal there?
Yes. Just your everyday hacker on the course.
Well,
did you say packer or did you say hacker? Did he say packer?
Well, did he say packer? I don't know, but
I think he said packer. Is that like a cheesehead thing? Is that what that is?
Perhaps.
Oh my gosh! Here he is. We're complete with props.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Well, let's just see what that's all about too. What
let's check that one out. I'd like to see some proof of that.
That's the reason he says cheesehead, because early in his life he was affected.
He had no choice.
Yeah, I mean, it was just boom right there, and
in your face.
Right in your face. Yeah. Now,
but that's not the only thing he loves, though, is it? That's not the only thing he loves.
Well, he loves him too, but other than that, let's see.
I think somebody told me that he maybe beer. Guinness, something I don't know.
Guinness. I don't know.
Beer, Guinness, whatever.
Beer. He's got the money now because he's become a multi-millionaire now, and he's able to then enjoy the best of the beers.
So he's a cheesehead. He's a beer drinker. He plays golf. He's got M2. And he likes to gamble. I mean, this guy's got the life of Riley.
Yeah.
Talk about Riley. All right, then.
All right. I think there's even more proof. We want to go with that?
Give me a keg of beer.
And these.
I don't believe this.
I've had a rather emotional day, so whatever your beef with Eggsy is, and I'm sure it's well-founded, I'd appreciate it enormously if you could just leave us in peace until I finish this lovely pint of Guinness.
It'll be just another minute.
Are you looking at me? Do you want some or what?
Come over here and say that.
Oi! You spilled my drink?
I'm just curious. I saw you shuffling your checks with your right hand. Can you do that with both hands? No.
Wow. Well, there it is. The proof is in the pudding. He's a cheesehead, he's a golfer, he's a drinker, and he's a gambler. Wow. Talk about the life of Riley.
Yeah, and he's living it, isn't he? He's living it all down.
I can't wait for retirement.
I'm gonna go right back and go 360 on this right now. You have certainly you really believe in M2, and you put your money where your mouth was, because I understand that you do have a few of M2 in your purse. Now, what do you think? When do you think the payout date is, Will?
Oh, I'd go a couple years for sure, and right now we'll accumulate and just wait for everyone to work together, and eventually, once we can get M2 to $1, we can work and get the global effect happening to help the third world countries, and that's obviously the one thing that we're all striving to do.
All right, and B's community has, as you said, it's growing stronger. It's getting tighter as far as people getting to know each other within the community. But my question is, what can people do to make it even better than it is now, in your opinion, Will?
Right now, we're trying to build the community by talking to people, and also to work our social media, do what we can. And I think one of the things that we're hoping for is just having the community work together, because helping people, I think, is one of the best ways that we can spread the word. And that's been happening. You can see it on all the Skype channels and also on the YouTube channels. The people that we have are all volunteers. So the more that we can do to help, we just can't have everyone, just a small few doing all the work. So every little bit that each person can do is going to help.
And we have, of course, I think of Richie certainly as a visionary. In your opinion, when you first met him, what did you think of him when you first met him?
He looked so young. And it was amazing that he was so connected and knew so much. And it was really exciting to be involved and listening to the words that he was able to talk to the crowd, and he captured everyone. And he's able to talk to you. He's not way above you. He talks to you just like you're just like him. And that's, I think, one of the nicest things about Richie is he's got time for you.
Wow, you know a different Richie to the one I do, because the Richie I know, he's always ripping me to pieces. I think, personally, this is just my own opinion, But I'm pretty sure he has a couple of makeup artists because Richie's probably I think he's about 92 years old. He kind of has this makeup thing going on, and he really plays it down. He's a lot older than he looks, just so you know, Will. So he might look young and virile. I'm not buying it. And until I can talk to him face to face, that's my take on it. I'm just saying, that's just me.
Uh-huh. And so you think maybe Will and he are about the same age?
No, I think he's pretty old, actually. Yeah. I'm not sure if it's really a Richie. That might just be, one of them automated things. He's pretty smart. Yeah. He might not even be. That might not even be the real guy that we talk to every day. I don't know.
Well, we kind of hear repetition every once in a while, don't we? So maybe it's just a recording. So who knows?
You know what else I hear, Chris?
What's that?
Is that Will's got a sister, Susan, that we've already talked about a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And apparently she is a very smart cookie. You guys come from a real smart lineage. I can't even say it. See, I'm so dumb I can't even say the word. But Susan's really smart, and I'm hoping that after you've talked to her, Will, and hopefully she's watching, that we can get her on there. So I'm going to ask you to endorse Susan for me before I give her a call, and see if I can get her to come along and also join us and share some stuff. So can I rely on you to help me out with that? She's your sister. So
Absolutely. We'll get her on the show. I'm sure she couldn't wait to get on the show.
Mark's convinced that she's not going to do it, and I'm going to use Ashley. I'm going to use every person I can to see if I can, because I think she'll be a lot of fun. Plus, she really knows a lot of stuff, and a lot of people don't know that about Susan, but she's been really instrumental with this whole thing, as you know, and been around for a long time. And boy, she's got some great stuff. I think that she's actually the backbone. I think Mark just rides on her shirt tail. But that's just between us. Okay. I'm just saying,
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Oh, listen to that. Okay. Here we go. All right. As we come to the end of this particular episode of the Swarm Unplugged, Will, I want to ask you if you'd like to say some things to our audience, and it is a broad one, so I'd like to hear any final things you have to offer them as advice or direction or anything that might be inspirational. Would you like to add something to the end of the program?
Absolutely. Being in a group like Be Social is like family, and it's hard. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And to be able to help people, and also to help yourself and your own family, it's an opportunity I hope everyone can take and share. And I think that's the important part that we need to do is to be able to share this opportunity. And
very good. Will, thank you for being on. Thank you for being on. Tony, any last questions you might have?
I don't have any last questions outside of the fact that, we'd love to have Will on again down the road here and, share some of his wonderful insights and to see how things have progressed and, what if he has a different opinion or a better opinion. But more importantly, I want to leave everyone with one thing, and that is, remember this. You've only got time. And that's the only thing we can't replace. So everyone spend it wisely. Will, I love your cheesehead.
Yeah, don't eat your hat. Whatever you do, don't eat your hat. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thanks to our wonderful guest, Will. And for folks out there listening, now that when you see Will pop up on the notes and the nightly calls, now you know who Will is. And you also know that he is a firm believer in the future of the Bees social community. I appreciate you, Tony K, for everything you do as my co-host in this program. And your donations are so much appreciated by everybody. And I also want to thank our technical director, Rick Scherer, who is always behind the scenes and making things happen. So, as we come to the close of this episode of the Swarm Unplugged, I simply want to remind everybody, first of all, to hit the subscribe button, hit the like, and give us a comment. That helps us always grow in the Be Social TV network. And to end it all, I always want to say to listen, learn, and give. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Swarm Unplugged podcast. Be sure to hit the follow button and leave us a glowing comment. Gravitate yourself to be on the podcast so you are the next one to introduce themselves to the Be Social community. See you on the next episode.